Blue lights explode in the rear view. Hands where I can see them! A crack snaps across the hood. Metal sparks. Everyone panics. The driver, a black Navy SEAL on leave, whispers, "Behind you!" He raises a flare gun and fires into the sky. When the field lights up, the story flips, and so do the officers' faces. The stop that wasn't simple midnight along a two-lane river road. Mist slides low over reeds. A single cruiser fills the mirror. Darius Cole signals, eases to the shoulder, hazard lights ticking like a metronome for calm. He keeps both hands open on the wheel, breath slow, voice steady. Every habit learned in rooms that taught him how to stay alive. When fear tries to drive, two officers approach, young, wired, trying to sound bigger than their nerves. The senior shouts commands that don't match the moment. Before Darius can answer, a sharp crack punches the night. A streak of metal kisses the hood. Everyone flinches. The junior officer steps back, hand shaking over his holster, eyes wide with the sick heat of a mistake he hasn't made yet but can feel coming. Darius doesn't move. He's listening past the noise. The sound didn't come from the cruiser. It came from the dark behind it, left of the ditch, where cattails hide a low bank. Another ping. A badge cam tilts toward Darius as if the danger is the man in the driver's seat, not the shadow with a real line of sight. "Officer," Darius says, voice even, "you're being targeted from your 6. The senior barks again. "Hands up!" Because habit is louder than truth when fear takes the mic. Darius swallows the urge to argue. He turns his head a fraction, scans the mirror, and finds what he needed, a faint muzzle flash between reeds. He reaches slow for the glove box and says what he's doing before he moves. A red cylinder slides into his palm. The kind sailors keep for nights when signal beats speech. The junior catches it first. "Sir, don't!" But Darius has already chosen the only shot that won't make this worse. The flare, the reveal, and the room that changes. He cracks the window, angles up, and fires a marine flare. It arcs like a comet, blooms into a sun the size of a dinner plate, and turns the ditch into theater. The reeds glow orange. The hidden figure is no longer hidden. A man in camo, face covered, braced on a cheap bipod. The senior officer spins, finally seeing the thing that was shooting at them all. Training kicks in, cover, call out, distance. The junior drags the senior behind the cruiser. Darius slides out slowly, hands high, voice guiding the moment back from the cliff. "I'm unarmed. Weapon is a flare. Threat is in the ditch." The senior's pride wobbles, but his instincts return. He radios a code that means real backup, not noise. The ambusher bolts. Darius tracks him only with words. Left, fence line, gate. Painting a map on the dark for the officers who are now finally listening. When the second cruiser hits gravel, the field becomes a grid of measured moves. A K-9 team takes the scent. The man in camo runs out of angles and into steel cuffs. In his pack, they find more than gear, a folder with road shots, times, and a name. Darius's. The senior officer looks from the folder to Darius, trying to square what almost happened with what did. The junior stares at the flares dying, ember, and understands that someone just saved his life. Heat, blame, and the twist. Police step in. The ringleader, face hot with pride and pain, points at Nia. "She stepped out!" The shop owner taps the phone. The officers glance at the footage, Nia fully in the crosswalk on a walk signal, the pack swarming a live lane throttle high, the mirror catching her bag, the wheelie, the slide. The facts settle without needing a speech. Then, the twist arrives with the same siren that carried Priya here. The EMS captain climbs out, eyes lock on Nia, and he salutes with 2 fingers at his temple. Not showy, just true. "My training, Chief," he tells the officers, nodding at Nia. A few onlookers gasp. The riders go still. The woman they clipped is the person who teaches half the city how not to turn panic into tragedy. The ringleader's jaw loosens. "You're the nurse from the videos," he whispers, remembering a street safety clip he swiped past last month. Nia doesn't leverage it. She checks his knee again, asks for a pain scale, and tells him he's lucky. Sprain, not a break. "Lucky is a bill you pay with better choices," she adds, soft enough that only he hears. No one cheers. No one needs to. Priya takes over care and Nia steps back, collecting her breath like tools after a job. The officer nearest her lowers his voice. "Do you want to press charges?" Nia watches the ringleader watch the footage again. The moment of impact playing like a mirror he can't dodge. She thinks of courtrooms that teach nothing, and of young men who mistake. Speed for self. "I want them alive and learning," she says. "I'll testify to the facts. I'd rather see them in a class I teach than in a hallway I staff. Justice that teaches, not just punishes." A week later, the pack sits on metal chairs in a community gym that smells like varnish and sneakers. Diversion program, traffic law, trauma basics. A session led by the woman they hit. Nia opens with the footage paused on the crosswalk. No shaming, no gloating. "Look where your eyes are," she says. Not on the lane. Not on the light. On each other's cameras. A few heads drop. She rolls out a practice dummy and shows helmet. Removal the right way. 2 people, one stabilizing, one lifting. Hands that once throttled now hover careful over foam and strap. She doesn't tell them how foolish they were. She shows them how to save a friend when the asphalt takes its due. She closes with the 3 lines from her pocket, giving them away like tools, not quotes. After class, the ringleader asks for a minute. He stares at the floor, words stuck. Then they come. "I'm sorry," he says, plain as bread. "I thought being loud was the point." Nia nods. Being useful is the point. He offers something unexpected. Their next ride will end at the legal track. He'll post the route, invite others, and cap the speed. If they laugh, he says, they can stay home. The market becomes itself again. Apples, bread, sun. The crosswalk gets a fresh coat of textured paint and a speed table that humbles wheels without punishing feet. The shop owner adds a sign. Slow, everyone arrives. The pack shows up one Saturday in matching vests that read, in black marker, smooth as safe. They help set up a kid's bike rodeo. Cameras roll, but the best parts never make a clip. A kid's first steady turn, a rider learning patience, a nurse sipping lemonade under an awning that used to remember a fall. 3 shareable lines leave this story like good echoes. Respect is the first safety rule. Speed fades. Consequences don't. Be the person who turns a near miss into a better map. A shove from pride met a harder floor called consequence, and a woman's steady hands turned a street into a classroom. If a moment in this story resets something in you, Tell us where you're watching from and what line you'll carry. Share it with someone who rides. Subscribe for more cinematic stories where calm wins, lessons stick, and people get to go home.